hit the green light. We ready and back, guys? All right. We are pleased to be joined by Quinnipiac University. We have head coach Rand Pecknold, Sam Annis, and Soren Janssen. We'll take an opening statement from Coach Pecknold, and then we'll direct questions to the student athletes. Coach, all you.
We just want to thank the city of Tampa. It's been a phenomenal experience so far. Got off the plane. We had, red carpet treatment there, and the hotel's been great. Town's been great. So, we're looking forward to playing some hockey tomorrow.
Thanks, Coach. We'll take questions for the student athletes, and a reminder just to please state your name and your media affiliation prior to asking your question. All right, Kevin.
That's going to be a quick press conference.
It might be. Better for you guys. Kevin, go ahead. Yes.
Kevin Dupont with the Boston Globe. Soren and Sam, I was asking the BC players the same thing about the factor of the unknown here, not having faced them before and not really knowing who they are. How does that sort of factor into your preparation, and how does that feel?
I think it's exciting for us to play a new opponent. I mean, we've never played them before, and you look at, for example, Denver versus North Dakota. I think it's their 275th time playing or something like that. So it's kind of funny, and we're definitely excited. I mean, we've definitely done extra video on them since we've never played against them versus if we were playing somebody from our own conference, because we see them yearly, and we know more about their systems and their style of play and things like that. So we've definitely watched more video and made sure we've gone over their systems in detail.
Thanks, Soren. Sam?
Yeah, pretty much going off that too. It's exciting to play a team like Boston College, obviously, and we're hoping that we're gonna have a good showing. But we're focused on them right now, and we're doing a lot of preparation. Obviously, we've never played them, so doing a lot of extra things and just getting ready for tomorrow.
Okay, questions for the student athletes? Take one in the middle, Julie.
Fellas, I'm just curious. I know your coach has done a lot in terms of establishing a culture of success and demanding excellence from you guys. What do you see as your role in establishing that and furthering that tradition?
Sam, why don't you start?
I think a lot of that obviously has come from the coaches, but it's come from past players, and whether it's been 3 years ago or 4 years ago, and I think a lot of that has just been driven into us. So mainly off the ice and incorporating guys into everything. It's not like there's any clicks between the seniors, and there's a difference between seniors and freshmen. When you do something, we do it as a team. And when I came in as a freshman, I felt like I was part of the team right away, and it was a very comfortable feeling, and it made me get acclimated to the environment much quicker, and it definitely helped on the ice too.
Soren, your perspective of team culture?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely started, like you said, my freshman year. I came in, the seniors and juniors, they really taught us kind of the way things were and showed us the ropes. And I think now as we're upperclassmen, we have pretty much the same role, and we have taken that culture that now we hold and we pass it on to the freshmen and bring them up the same way that we were brought up.
Okay, thanks, guys. Questions? Okay, we'll take one in front right. Just remember your name and the media affiliation.
Hi, I'm Kelly with the Tampa Bay Times. Soren, you were here in 2013. Just, I guess, what can you take from that experience? I know you were a freshman, but just what do you remember from it, and what were you able to take from that experience in the past 3 years?
I mean, playing in the Frozen Four my freshman year was an unbelievable experience. We definitely learned a lot, and we got to see a lot of kind of like the red carpet and things like that. So I think the biggest role our seniors have is to really make sure that all the other players are focused on the game rather than all of the, excitement, whether it be coming off the plane and there's, music playing and people greeting us and things like that. In the end, we're here to play a hockey game, and hopefully 2 hockey games, and, we just got to make sure that everyone's got their focus on that.
Additional questions for the student athletes? Okay, we'll take one in the middle.
Courtney Martinez, NCAA.com. When did it really start to click for you guys that this was a team that can make this run all the way to Tampa?
Sam, go ahead.
I think we've had a belief in that the whole year, and obviously we had a great start. And the thing that I think was most important for us is we didn't focus on the big picture. We just focused on what was right ahead of us, and we took every game one by one, and we didn't really look at if we were ranked number 1 or stuff like that. We just focused on playing the best we can play and playing Quinnipiac hockey, and we knew that if we did that each game, that good results would come our way.
Well said. Additional questions? Okay, we'll take one on the left.
Search U.S. College Hockey Online. Sam, how are you feeling with an additional 2 weeks to recover from your injury?
Well, I feel great that we're here in Tampa and really excited to get going and excited to get playing tomorrow.
Okay. Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, guys, we'll dismiss you. Reminder that the Quinnipiac locker room is open until 2 p.m. And we'll take questions for Coach Pecknold at this time. We'll start in the middle and then to the right.
Rand, congratulations, Bob Snow, NHL.com and BruinsDaily.com. Jerry spoke at length about the journey he's had to get to this particular stage over and over the last several years and the learning curve he went through. How do you see yourself and then infusing the team with a sense about not getting too caught up in the moment and maybe shortening that learning curve for you to get to a win on tomorrow and then Saturday?
Are you talking about just this season, or?
No, I'm just talking about your evolution as a coach over 22 years. Now you've been to
okay.
one Frozen Four,
Yeah.
your second one in a
Yep.
few years, but
Yep.
Jerry's been to quite a few, and it took him a while seemingly to get to where he wanted to be. How do
Right.
you see you shortening that learning curve for you as a coach?
I don't think there's any magic trick to shortening your learning curve. I think it's just going to happen naturally. There's no question. I've evolved as a coach. I think in my early years I had a very fixed mindset. Maybe was very stubborn. Probably didn't use my assistants enough, and then gradually over time got more of an open mindset or a growth mindset. There's a real good book on that by Carol Dweck about mindsets and how different people, think about things. And and I think now I have that open mindset, and I'm willing to take a lot of feedback from my assistant coaches. I use Billy and Reed a lot. I think they're great. I think they're two of the best in the business. I think that's a big reason why we win. Jared's a great goalie coach. I listen to him a lot. And just try to incorporate a lot of outside ideas. And I think sometimes coaches get in trouble when they think they're right, when they might be wrong. So I'm always questioning what I'm doing. I'm still confident with what I do. But I think, again, having that open mindset has really helped me evolve as a coach. And we've changed a lot. We've changed a lot. 2009, we dramatically changed a lot of the things that we did on purpose. I made that decision. I thought we had always been, that previous 5 or 6 years to that, we were always like 18 through 25 in the country, which was great. It was great for Quinnipiac. Everybody was happy at Quinnipiac, to be where we were, coming from Atlantic hockey, moving to the ECAC. And I just felt what we did, we were never going to over that hump and be a top 15 team. So, I kind of stepped back and asked myself a lot of questions. How can we change? What do we need to do to be better, to be a top 15 or a top 10 team? And we did make a lot of changes that summer of 09, and we're reaping the rewards now.
Can you talk about maybe one of those changes?
Yeah, it's not any one thing. I would say probably one of the main things, though, would be our practice habits. I think in my early years, my mindset on a Monday practice was, the kids are, it's college, they're beat up a little bit, especially in our Atlantic hockey days. Like, Monday practices weren't that productive, and I just I let it go. And I think a lot of coaches do that. And I'm like, I'll start getting on Wednesday and Thursday, and then I really drop the hammer. Because if you yell all the time, they're not going to listen to you. And I just made a decision that we weren't going to do that anymore. It wasn't going to be acceptable. And in order to do that, I had to get the players to buy into that. And there was a couple ways we did it that year to get our guys to buy into that. We had a kind of I remember bringing a big whiteboard in the room, and I said, let's talk about what we need to get better at in the preseason. We put everything up on the list, and I kind of guided them a little bit, but one of the things was, let's be better in practice every day. Let's compete every day. And, our practices are awesome. They're Monday it's awesome, Tuesday it's awesome, Wednesday, Thursday. And I think that's why you see so many players within our system evolve. Kids that other programs don't want, and all of a sudden, that kid might be going to the NHL. Like, we do a really good job with that because they practice hard and they really get better, they improve.
Okay, take one on the right here.
Jeff Cox with SB Nation College Hockey. Coach Chase Prisky's played in all but one game and has had a big impact as a freshman. I think he's tied for second scoring among rookie defensemen. What kind of a learning curve have you seen from him this year, and what would you say maybe he's improved on as the year's gone on with it, as far as his skill set and what he brings to the team?
Yeah, Chase had a great year. Probably the smartest thing that he did or we did with him was we had him enroll in the summer and take classes. And then once you do that, you have access to our strength coach, and he needed to get stronger. So we had 4 months of that before, starting in May until, we started in October. And that really helped him. I think it gave him a lot of confidence. It also integrated him into our culture quicker, and so he felt more comfortable. But he's had a great year. The way he plays is how we want our D to play. We want to get our D in the rush. We want to create that second wave, that third wave of attack. And then if there's no opportunity there offensively, they've now created a good gap. They're up in the play, and now the gap's coming back the other way. So Chase buys into that. He's perfect for our system. Great hockey player, great kid, straight A student, and he's been dominant this year. He's been great.
You take one in front, Kevin.
And forgive me if this sounds a little parochial, but you grew up in New Hampshire and made your way to Lawrence Academy.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what led to that sort of gravitating down south, if you will, and what factor that played in your development as a player and maybe as a coach.
Yeah, well, I went to Connecticut College, and I ended up there because Doug Roberts was the coach, and he had played college hockey with my dad at Michigan State. So life's all about connections. I went to Lawrence Academy because a bunch of kids from the Manchester, New Hampshire had gone there. Like, again, just Kyle McDonough, I don't know if you remember that name, at Vermont. And so some of the things in life, it's just, you just kind of gravitate to certain areas because it just evolves that way. And then when I got into coaching was really, I never thought I was going to be a coach. And just Doug Roberts, my coach, called me up after I was a year working. And he's like, you want to come back and help out? And I was like, okay. Like, I just didn't, I was kind of floundering in life, didn't know what I wanted to do. And within a week, I'm like, this is what I want to do with my life. So that's how I ended up at Connecticut College, and then did that for 3 years, and then got lucky and fell into Quinnipiac when it was a job that nobody really wanted, but I needed a job. So, and then it's, we've had some luck here along the way to get where we are now.
Additional questions for Coach? All right. Julie, to state your name and affiliation, please.
Julie, HockeyBuzz.com. Coach, just hearing this, when you first took over the job at Quinnipiac, what was your goal? I mean, I know it was a long time ago and things have changed and transpired, but, what was that goal when you first started?
My first goal?
Yeah, compared to where you are now.
Survival. Survival. We had midnight practices. I taught high school. I had to get up at 6 a.m., so I would get home. By the time I got to bed, it was 3 a.m., sleep 3 to 6, go teach my job, get home. The teaching job in Quinnipiac was 71 miles apart, I think, if I remember that correctly. Then I would sleep 3 to 6 p.m., get up, go down, recruit, then a midnight practice. So that first year was tough. It was all survival. And we had, I think I won one game my first 4. I think it was 112-1 after 14 games. And I was like, what am I doing for nothing? But I loved it. And I knew we'd get better. And then year 2, we brought in 19 freshmen. And we were off and running. And then my 5th year, we went to Division I. And so, but that was my main goal, was just survive that first year. And then the second year, we moved to 9:30 p.m. at night was practices. And then in my 5th year, they finally made me full-time. So.
Any other questions for Coach? We got a couple. Adam, and then we'll take one from Kevin.
College Hockey News. Coach, the style of play in the ECAC, I mean, the league has done well in recent years, but the type of games you play night in and night out, do you consider those a good preparation for NCAA games, or are the styles a lot different between the two?
No, I think ECAC play has really made us battle-tested. I think our league is phenomenal. Cornell came in 8th place in our league this year, and they were 15th in the pairwise. I mean, that's a good league. It's a great league, and we play a great non-conference. We played St. Cloud twice. We played a lot of good Hockey East teams. So I think we're battle tested, and a lot of that is the stuff that we have to deal with in the ECAC. It's a great league, great players, great coaches. The coaches are really good, and I think we challenge each other and force each other to be better. And you've seen really in the last 5 to 6 years, really the ECAC kind of evolve into one of the better leagues in the country.
Take one, Kevin, then we'll go in the middle.
Kevin Dupont, Boston Globe, ran with only 3 losses. I imagine there were no soft spots in the schedule for you this year, but was there a point in the season where you said, this team's got it, this is a team we can get to the final Frozen Four with?
Yeah, I never think that way. I don't get ahead of myself. Like, certainly you're like, I want to go to the Frozen Four. But I didn't really, it never happened until, the Lowell game was over. Now we're going. I think one of the things that I try to do as a coach with my players, and I believe in it, is we stay in the moment and we focus at the task at hand. So if it's, when you walk in our locker room, you see on the door, it says attack the day. We're going to attack the day. We're ready to go, and this is what we're doing today. It's Monday practice, it's Tuesday practice, whatever it is, and we just focus on the task at hand. Certainly we have to, if it's Tuesday and we're getting ready for St. Lawrence, we do some certain things to get ready for the Friday game, but I think my players have been great with that this year, and that's why we only have 3 losses in April. Like they're prepared. We don't get ahead of ourselves. And probably also, too, we deal with adversity really well. Like, we dealt with a lot of adversity in January and February. We're the #1 team in the country, and, like, every game was like the Super Bowl, you know, for our opponent. They were fired up. We had to go on the road and play in some tough ranks against teams that maybe weren't having the best season, but this was their year. This was their Stanley Cup game, you know, and, you know, we had to find a way to win a lot of games or come from behind to even get a tie in the third period. So it's a resilient group, and we're certainly proud of what we've accomplished so far, but we still got a little work left to do here.
Take one in the middle.
You talked about 2009 and how you guys changed some of your approach. I wonder, coming into this Frozen Four, having the experience from a few years ago, has that approach changed at all? And I guess, what did you take away from that first Frozen Four and wanted to maybe play with the approach a little bit heading into this week?
We haven't changed much since the 13 Frozen Four. I thought we played great that whole playoffs, that whole year was a great year, you know, and the loss in the national championship game, like, we played well. We really played well. We had a lot of great scoring chances, and Jeff Malcolm was the best player on the ice, and he was, you know, he was great, and that's part of hockey. But we haven't changed much. You know, I learned a lot as a committee member in 12 when I was here in Tampa about how everything's run, which helped me for then, and it obviously helps me now. But I don't think we need to change much. I think we're on the right path, and with the record we have, why would we do any type of drastic changes? You know, we once in a while we need to tweak things. Like, a couple people have asked me about the Lowell game. Like, we literally put an entirely new forecheck in for that game, which is a little unorthodox for us. But Lowell plays a completely different game, the way they swarm in the D zone, and our guys are so coachable. And we didn't have time. We didn't practice it. We just put it in, and they did it, and they were great. And we played one of our best games of the season. But I think the norm for us is to stay the course, play to our identity, and we'll get rewarded.
Thanks, Coach. Any additional questions? All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you very much.
About 14 minutes left for open locker room for Quinnipiac. We'll have North Dakota at 2:45, followed by Denver at 4.